Am I the asshole for not giving up my desk for a coworker to pump? There is a shared workroom of about 10 cubicles and a lounge space. People go in and out of this shared room to work on a computer if the opportunity arises between other responsibilities. Everyone keeps a different schedule, so it's very random who's there and who's not. I have this coworker who's postpartum and pumping. There is a workstation that is at the very back with some privacy that this person likes to pump at sometimes. I don't know her schedule of when she would be there to pump, but I do know that she likes to use that station to pump. As additional background, I am also pumping, though I use a different room because I like more privacy for myself, and I don't have a portable pump, just the big awkward bulky one. No judgment at all to people who feel comfortable pumping in a room with other people. This coworker and I have often commiserated on the difficulties of pumping and working. Today, I needed to work on a long project and I needed to focus. With some people talking in the room, I went to that workstation at the end to try to focus. I had worked for about an hour on this station when the coworker came to ask to use that station. I began to say how I have several internet tabs and other work apps open. It would have taken me a long time to shut this down and open things up on another station, when she left in a huff and ended up pumping at a station closer to the door. Later on, I went to apologize to her, and she angrily said that I know what it's like, implying that I should have given her the station. I think I might be the asshole because 1, pumping while working is very hard and I do know it. 2, I also find out that she is overscheduled and did not have appropriate time to pump. I did know that she uses that station to pump, as another woman who pumped at that station before her. But I also think I may have been justified because 1, there are multiple dedicated pumping rooms in the building and several other rooms that can be used to pump if asked. This is what I do. It's not as convenient to work at those places though. 2, I am under some stress to get these projects down and I needed some privacy as well. 3, I really did have a lot of stuff open and it would have taken me time to close it. Although considering how quickly she left to pump elsewhere, I think she expected me to just lose my progress and force log off without closing everything individually. TLDR. I was working on a workstation that someone else used for pumping. When they asked for the station, I didn't immediately give it to them. AITA? Edit. To clarify a couple of the points. 1, her and the woman, no longer pumping, before her are the only ones who ever pumped in this room. Everyone else, including myself, pumps at either the dedicated rooms or one of the private rooms. The nearest of these private rooms is literally down the hall. When the other woman used our workstation, it was never a problem because she just went to one of the private rooms. 2, I do not know her schedule. We work at multiple different places including different buildings. Had I known she was in the building, I would have worked elsewhere. Not the asshole. Your workplace provides dedicated spaces for pumping. The particular station in the back of the room isn't it. You shouldn't have to uproot yourself in the middle of working because she prefers a particular spot to pump and work simultaneously. Sounds like these workstations are first come first serve and you had your own reasons for wanting that specific spot. Not the asshole. Your workplace provides a dedicated pumping space. So that's where people should go to pump. So there are dedicated lactation rooms at your office, but instead of using those she wanted to boot you off your desk to do it there while you were in the middle of working? Not the asshole. Are the pumping rooms adequate for her to use? If not, then this is a problem with the workspace for her to bring to the management. If so, then I'm confused why she prefers your cubicle. Not the asshole. She expects you and everyone else to conform to her little routine. There is no reason she couldn't have gone to another room. Not the asshole. As a breastfeeding, pumping mom myself, you're both in an unfortunate situation but neither of you are at fault. The onus is on the employer to provide adequate space and accommodation for the employee to pump. Am I the asshole for buying my niece Taylor Swift tickets? I, 33F, and my husband Rick, 40M, are child-free but we have 6 nibblings that we adore. Our oldest is Abby, 17F, and she is the daughter of my sister, Sarah, 36F. Sarah had Abby when she was pretty young and has always been a single mom. I am not saying that her life has been easy but she had the unwavering support of our parents who helped care for Abby so she could finish college and work full-time. My husband and I make an effort to spend time with Abby as she doesn't have a dad active in her life. Rick and Abby have a really special bond and he is really like a dad to her. We have always tried to help out with Abby financially as well. So on to the issue at hand. Abby is a huge Taylor Swift fan and she has 3 close friends, Sammy, Allie, and Michaela, who are also big fans. They wanted nothing more than to see Taylor on her tour, so my sister set out to score 4 tickets and was lucky enough to get them. My niece and her friends were so excited, but that all changed recently. Something I have to add about my sister: she always has to be involved in everything, especially if she thinks it's the in thing to do. About a month ago, my sister decided that she wanted to go to the show instead of one of the girls. She told my niece she would need to pick which girl wasn't going to go. My sister was laying the guilt on about being a single mom and how Abby will be leaving her and how Abby should want her mom there too. Abby called her friends and told them. Each girl offered to give up their ticket, but then they all agreed that if one wasn't going, none of them were. Abby was telling me what happened a few weeks ago and my husband overheard the conversation. Well, that night before bed, he wanted to buy 4 new tickets for the girls so they could go together. I thought it was really lovely and said sure. He texted Abby and asked her to stop by the next day. She was so excited and thanked us before calling her friends. We offered to drive them and then take them to the city nearby for the weekend of the show if they want. We decided that this will be a graduation gift for her. I offered to tell Sarah about it if my niece wanted, but she just asked me to be around when she told her. Well, Saturday was the day. My sister was pissed and accused me of taking away a special experience with her daughter. She then told Abby that she will not be allowed to go with us, forgetting that her 18th birthday is 4 days before the concert. Now my sister is not talking to me and my parents think I should have just stayed out of it. I feel like Abby deserves to go and should not have to destroy her friendships to do so. Did we go too far buying new tickets? I know my sister can sell hers and make a lot of money, so she isn't out anything except the experience with her daughter. Am I the asshole for taking this away from her? And #X200B. ETA. I was told to add that the original tickets were not a gift from my sister. She just had the credit card for the pre-sale. Each girl, including Abby, paid her back, but the tickets came to Sarah's email and therefore technically belonged to her. Obviously, all the shows are sold out and after-market tickets are 100s to 1,000 each, which 4 high school seniors cannot afford. All 4 girls were just giving up their tickets so they didn't have to pick who wasn't going to get to go. Not the asshole. Doesn't sound like it was much a mother and daughter experience to begin with. The girl wanted to go with her friends. So generous of you guys to help her out. If your sister hasn't sold the tickets yet, she can still go and do something special before the concert, even if they don't get to sit together. Technically you did go behind your sister's back, but that's between you and her. It's not fair of her to bring your niece into that argument. TBH, it wasn't fair of your sister to force herself into her daughter's evening out at the expense of one of her friends. Those girls all paid for their own tickets. She had no right to just decide one of them wasn't entitled to the ticket they had paid for. Wow. So your sister wanted to go to the concert with her daughter, who would be leaving for college soon, so she can have a special experience with her, and you decided to completely undermine your sister's decision about her daughter and buy 4 tickets to do an end run around your sister. What an asshole you are. I realize Abby was disappointed. And maybe your sister was wrong in her decision. But that does not give you the right to do an end run around her parenting decision and do something that takes her out of the equation. Wow. What a complete asshole move that was. No wonder why your sister's not talking to you. That took balls of brass to do that. You are the asshole. Am I the asshole for having a night off from visiting my boyfriend in hospital? On Tuesday, the 25th of April 2023, my F28 boyfriend, M29, had an accident at work. He has a broken foot and leg. His boss called me at 4 p.m. and I went straight to the hospital. I stayed by his side until midnight when he was going to sleep, and made a trip to our flat and back during that time to bring him an overnight bag. Wednesday morning, he had surgery at 8 a.m. I called the hospital for an update and they said I could visit from 2 to 8 p.m., regular visiting hours. I told work what happened and went up there that afternoon. I stayed with him for about 4 hours. This day was probably the hardest so far. He was in an awful mood. Understandably, as he was in a lot of pain and probably feeling very angry at the situation. I am not ignoring that. But he kept acting as if I couldn't do anything right. I cried all the way home this night. I visited Thursday evening, similar to Wednesday in the sense that I wasn't doing anything right, bought him a burger and he complained about where I got it from. Plus I brought up extra things from our flat that he asked for, as he was told this day that he would have to stay in 7–10 days for another operation. Friday evening, his friend was there, too, this time, which was easier as we all chatted as a group, which kept the mood light. On Saturday my brother and his fiancée visited. We played games together. My partner was talkative and seemed a lot more energetic and like his normal self. This was the first time we had a proper cuddle and that he asked me how I was doing. Sunday, his mum visited for the first time and I joined them. Today is Monday, a bank holiday in the UK. Yesterday he said that he appreciated me going up and that I didn't have to, he wanted me to live my life. So I said that I might have today off. This morning, he said that his grandparents would be visiting in the afternoon, so I make some plans by myself to have a relaxing afternoon, to hopefully feel recharged for tomorrow. At 4:30 p.m. I get a text asking what time I'm coming up, and if I can bring him a burger. I explained that I thought we agreed for me to have the day off, but that I can bring him a burger if he really wants one. He responds with, "Up to you. I would love a burger, but if you've got plans then don't worry." I found it really hard not to just agree to do it, but going via the burger place is nearly an hour walk and I want to unwind for the day. I respond exactly this, and that I want to start making my dinner, but that I will visit him tomorrow and bring one. Then I get the messages. Right, don't know how to respond to that. See you later. Don't worry about coming up tomorrow. I try calling him, he blocks my call and I get, no need to call, not much to say. Too late now, so enjoy your evening. Am I the asshole? I thought we had agreed both verbally and via text that I should have a night or two off. Both family, friends and a colleague have been checking in with me and reminding me that I need to look after myself too, and this is all I was trying to do. Not the asshole. He has someone there who is capable of getting him a burger. There are also services that deliver food. He wanted to guilt trip you because he's in the middle of a pity party for himself. Not the asshole. It sounds like you've already gone above and beyond to see him and make him feel cared for during this time. It's understandable that you need some time to recharge. It sounds like you've been very accommodating in a difficult time, and I do think you're deserved a day off. Not the asshole. I suggest you visit on Tuesday as you had planned and bring him the burger. Once he's out of the hospital, though, is worth it to communicate to him how ornery he's being to you and how it made you feel. Not the asshole. Keep in mind he is on pain meds, so maybe isn't being himself. You've now experienced a situation in which he's rude to you, doesn't communicate his needs well, and punishes you for not fulfilling a need that he didn't communicate. Keep it in mind for the future. Not the asshole, he has a man cold. Am I the asshole for choosing to attend a close friend's wedding over my cousin's? I, 28F, was put in the position of choosing between attending a close friend's wedding or my cousin's wedding, occurring on the same weekend on opposite coasts of the U.S. this summer. Friend, call her S, 29F, is a very good friend and former roommate. I wouldn't say she is a best friend, but we are part of a larger group of friends that are very close-knit. Many of us no longer live in the same state and we all regularly plan trips to see each other. She attended my bachelorette party and wedding, and I recently attended her bachelorette party. My cousins A, 25F, and B, 23F, are my dad's sister's kids. My dad, who passed away about 8 years ago, was never close with his family and we lived across the country from them while I was growing up. We love each other, but have never had much a relationship outside of texts and video calls a few times a year. They did attend my wedding a little over a year ago. A is now getting married. I learned about S's wedding first as she and her fiancé were engaged and planning before I had already made a verbal commitment to attend, when A let me know about her wedding plans. Still, I was torn and had quite a few conversations with my mom, husband, and friends about it. Ultimately I have decided to attend S's wedding. I committed to it first and I am much closer to her, and others attending her wedding, than I am to my cousins. I honestly felt that if A or B had had a similar conflict for my wedding, I would have totally understood. I recently informed A and their mom, my aunt, 50SF, that will not be attending. They seemed disappointed, annoyed, but didn't make a big deal of it. I thought all was okay. However, soon after I started receiving texts from B, she railed into me about how my decision is unacceptable. That family is family and you show up for family. She accused me of disrespecting our grandfather's memory, he passed late last year, by not attending, and that she can't believe I wouldn't be there to support our family, especially in light of the losses we have experienced. My dad in 2015, grandma in 2018, grandpa in 2022. She had a lot of choice words for me. I'm selfish, disgraceful, and a sad person who doesn't care about family. I responded to her in what I felt was a mature way and expressed it was really heartbreaking to hear her say those things, and I hoped we could talk it through. She was having none of it and said she would never speak to me again if I did not show up. I felt fine with my choice before, but the conversation with her really made me feel terrible. I honestly feel that while family is important, family is also who you choose, and sometimes there are people closer to you than your blood relatives. But I've never been spoken to like B was speaking to me, and it has me really wondering if I made a selfish choice. We have a small family, and though we are not that close, I've been pretty upset to hear that my actions may have cost me a family relationship. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. In the end, you were going to have to choose one over the other, and you went with the person you were closer with. There's nothing wrong with that. Being family doesn't necessarily mean you're close with someone. Besides, you had already committed to your friend's wedding, even though it was only verbally. It's bad luck that the two weddings had to fall on the same weekend, but you're in no way selfish for your choice. Not the asshole. If this is the way B speaks to you now, why would you want more of it? Go ahead and let her stop speaking to you, and consider this. Your father kept a distance from that side of the family, and probably had reasons for doing so. You don't have any obligations to them on his behalf, because he made a choice not to be close with them. Don't let anyone try to guilt you about making the same choices he did. Not the asshole. You made a prior commitment and it's up to you which wedding you want to attend. B has no right guilt-tripping you into attending A's wedding. Not the asshole. S invited you before your cousin, so you had already made a commitment to that wedding. Maybe your cousin wants you so badly there because she doesn't have a lot of people to invite thinking face? Not the asshole.